Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, At Home with Willowberry. Or if you're new, welcome. But where have you been? I'm so happy to see you here. My name is Valerie, and in today's video, we're moving on to the next step in our renovation process here in our 50-year-old mobile home fixer-upper. We're finally hanging some sheetrock, and I make a delicious beef stew in the crock pot. It's going to be a full day of mobile home living here in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, so if you're interested, then I hope you'll stick around and enjoy the video. How are you all doing today? I sure hope you're having the best day ever. I tell you what, it's been beautiful here in the mountains of Virginia. Cooler weather is finally here and I'm loving it. It's been raining here the last couple of days, but that's all right by me. I love the rain. It's so relaxing and peaceful. Well, y'all, I woke up early this morning to get dinner in the crock pot. Today I'm making beef stew. I'm following a recipe that I found on thecozycook.com, and as always, I'll make sure to leave it linked down below. To get started, I need to coat the beef stew with flour and sear them to seal in the juices. I'm going to season the meat with salt, pepper, and garlic powder, coat it in flour, and then I'll head over to the stove to sear it. All right, well, let's get dinner started. While the meat is searing on the stove, I'm going to go ahead and cut up a couple of onions and some potatoes to go in the beef stew. Today I'm using yellow onions and yellow potatoes. According to the Cozy Cook, russet potatoes aren't recommended because they tend to fall apart and break down in the stew. Yukon Gold and red potatoes are best for stews because they have less starch and they hold up better than russet potatoes. My Walmart didn't have any Yukon Gold potatoes, so I grabbed some yellow potatoes instead. I added some carrots to the crock pot, and now that the meat is done searing, I'm going to go ahead and saute the onions in the same pan until they have softened. Once the onions are finished cooking, I'll add a couple of heaping spoonfuls of minced garlic into the pan with the onions, which will cook for just about a minute more, or until the garlic is fragrant. Alright, well while the onions are cooking, I'll go ahead and add some tomato paste and Worcestershire sauce to the crock pot. I tell you what, we're going to be adding all kinds of flavor to this beef stew. All I can say is I sure hope it's going to taste good, that's for sure. Okay, y'all, now that I've added the meat and onions to the crock pot, it's time to add the red wine and beef broth. The recipe calls for Cabernet Sauvignon, so that's what I'll be using today. I'll also be adding some better than bouillon beef base, 2 bay leaves, rosemary, garlic powder, and salt and pepper to season the beef stew with. This definitely isn't a dump and go type of crock pot meal. It requires a bit of prep work, but once everything has been added to the crock pot, I'll be able to set it on low and forget about it for the next 8 hours. Alright y'all, dinner is in the crock pot. I set it on low and the beef stew will cook for about 8 hours. In the meantime, we have some work to do here in the master bedroom. As you saw, Tim finished hanging all the insulation, so now we're ready to start hanging the sheetrock. Today, Tim will be hanging the sheetrock up on the ceiling. He bought a sheetrock hoist to help make hanging the sheetrock easier. This is so exciting, y'all. Now that we're hanging sheetrock, I can almost see the finish line. We'll be installing sheetrock on the ceiling and eventually just 2 of the walls. We decided to install shiplap on the 2 window walls just like we did in our middle son's room. In our son's room, we stained the shiplap, but in our room, we've decided to paint the shiplap instead. But first things first, we need to tackle the sheetrock work. Well, y'all, the first sheet of sheetrock is up on the ceiling and it looks great. The sheetrock hoist is a real blessing. It would have been impossible to get the drywall up on the ceiling without it. Well, y'all, that's one sheet down and only 3 more to go. All right, well, let's get this done. You know what? Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I think we may go ahead and shiplap 3 of the walls. That would really cut down on the mud work that Tim will have to do, that's for sure. All right, well, Tim is cutting out the hole for the light fixture, and then he'll be ready to screw the sheet into place. Tim is cruising right along, y'all. He's doing a great job with the sheetrock. You'd never know that he doesn't do sheetrock on a regular basis. He's definitely a jack of all trades. I've never seen him not be able to do something, be it mechanical, construction, or plumbing. The one thing he's not crazy about is wiring an electric panel box. Thank goodness I have a brother who's an electrician who is willing to give us a hand if we need any electric work done. What a blessing, y'all. All right, well, we have 2 more sheets to go, and then we'll be finished with the ceiling. Tim just has to cut the last piece of sheetrock, and once it's up on the ceiling, he'll be ready to call it a day, y'all. The sheetrock hoist has really come in handy. It would have taken twice as long to get the sheetrock hung up on the ceiling without it. Well, alright, y'all, let's get this job done. Well, I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go check on the beef stew. It's getting close to dinner time. Tim has worked hard today, and I know he's worked up an appetite, so as soon as he's finished screwing in the last sheet of sheetrock, we're going to go pull dinner together. All right, it's time to pull dinner together, y'all. I'm going to thicken up the beef stew with a little cornstarch. I'm also going to add a little butter to the crock pot. According to the Cozy Cook, the cold butter will add a smooth, velvety finish to the beef stew. We're going to eat the beef stew over rice, which I cooked a little earlier. Well, y'all, it's time to finish making dinner. Well, y'all, I hate to say it, but that's about it for another video. The beef stew turned out so divine. Probably the best beef stew I've ever eaten in my life. It was so full of flavor. I'll definitely be making it again, that's for sure. And we can't forget about all the hard work that Tim accomplished today. We now have a sheetrock ceiling in the bedroom, and it looks great. Alright, y'all, I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I already can't wait to talk to you again real soon. Y'all have a great week. Bye, y'all.